Hello and welcome to a special live edition of Alien Investigations. I'm your host, Steven, and I've got David Pease here with me. How's it going, David?
Awesome. How are you?
Very well. Love the backdrop. Very nicely done.
It kind of comes in and out, so I may
a little
get frustrated and get rid of it, but it's kind of a fun little thing to have.
David and I are going to be playing a special game of the X-Files Collectible card game. We are going to be opening up sealed booster packs and starter decks from both the Premier Edition as well as the Truth Is Out There. So at this point, David and I have no idea what cards we're going to be working with this evening. We don't know yet who our agents are going to be. Well, in David's case, we do have an idea because he is going to be opening a Truth Is Out There starter deck, which, if you'll look at David's camera there, you'll see he has the number 1 on the back of his Truth Is Out There starter. So that gives you an idea of what agents are going to be found within his starter deck. I do know, David, you are going to have Agent Mulder as one of your 4 agents. That I know for sure. I don't know the other 3 agents that are part of the Truth Is Out There starter with the number 1. All I know is Mulder's in there because all the odd numbers had Mulder 1, 3, 5, and the evens 2, 4, and 6 have Scully in it. So we do know you got Mulder. So that's a nice draw there. So our first comment this evening is from 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. Good luck for tonight's game. Thank you very much, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. Glad to see you. And thanks for waking up bright and early to watch this with us. And I do have the comments open, so if anyone wants to throw a comment at us, I'll be happy to read it off. But in the meantime, David, why don't you go ahead and start cracking open your starter deck so we'll get a chance to see David's team as well as the cards he's working with. This is very exciting. For those of you who saw the first sealed deck game in which I squared off against 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, you saw I did actually pull an ultra rare from one of my 2 Truth Is Out There boosters, which was the Spirit of the Amaru. Pretty good adversary. Unfortunately, it did not actually appear in that game. Had to discard it.
Let's just get right into it here.
So what do we have here, David? Who, pray tell, is on your team? Oh, well, we don't have the agents yet. All right, we'll see him in a moment. Who do we have?
Well, first
off, I see we have a killer card.
Yeah, the killer card. And we did decide off camera before we started that we were going to allow it. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yes, we did. We had a killer card show up in the last sealed game, and we used it. So we'll do the same thing this evening. Killer card rules apply. See, it's like we haven't even started the game, and I'm already sweating bullets over here. I'm like, oh, he could kill one of my agents. Good Lord.
Heads up, one of your personal favorites, Albert Hosteen.
Oh,
make sure
Jack
you
Willis.
use his token. I always forget some of these effects.
Good. He's got good combat skills too. Mulder,
of course, and Agent Tom Colton,
who has 2 res. So you got a pretty nice team there, David.
Not a bad way to start. I'll just put those guys in my bureau and let's see what's happening here. Ooh, these nice colors too. So I'm going to put these X-Files to the side here. We've already picked our X-File off camera. So
yes, our X-Files have been pre-selected since we are, in fact, opening packs live. So no need to give away what our X-File might be by choosing one of the ones found in these sealed packages. So yeah, pre-selected card right here, good to go from both of our respective Masters sets. Good number of sites you got there, I see.
Yeah, gosh. What do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sites. That's not too bad.
And the beauty part is those sites were selected because they complement the collective skills that your 4 agents have. So that means you're not going to be running into any issues necessarily with being able to meet those prerequisites, provided I haven't somehow found a way to send one of your agents to the hospital or back to the bureau or whatever.
Let's hope not. Government car, lie detector, medical treatment. Love those healing cards. Let's destroy crop circles. Expert briefing. Nothing really standing out for me here yet.
Well, we do know that the ultra rares were limited to the booster packs, so nothing exciting yet. But yeah, it does look like a standard collection of commons and uncommons there. I didn't notice too many of the rares in there.
Nope. Oh, here we go. Adversaries.
Mm-hmm.
Psychotic attack.
Making a note of those.
Deadly blur. Very nice. There's that host attacks. That's the second one there, isn't it?
𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 says 12 sites. David, you have to apply the tournament strategy. Oh, don't give him any ideas, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. By the way, 𝐗-𝐁, do you recall how many sites you had in yours?
Well, and then this one popped up.
Is it 13. Always 12 for the Truth Is Out There boosters? Or the Truth Is Out There starters? Is there consistently 12 sites in those packages?
I think personally, there is. I don't know. Maybe 𝐗-𝐁 knows that.
I believe, yeah, they had a standard set of each card suit in the Truth Is Out There starters, and 12 sites does seem like a reasonable amount. 𝐗-𝐁 says I had 12 as well in the starter deck. Yeah, I believe 12 was the staple, or I'm sorry, I believe 12 was the standard amount for sites for the Truth Is Out There starters. Anyway, we got your first of 2 Truth Is Out There boosters open, so...
Yeah, starting up with some bluffs there. Harry Coakley, I've got like 50 million of that one. X-Files research, written report, in-service training. Oh, got those combat cards. It's unfortunate that those didn't get more love. Ambush is one I'm going to try to work into some decks. Ooh, Dr. Blockhead. Okay.
Very good.
Andy.
Nice. 2 adversary negating witnesses in that batch.
Yeah.
Ooh, Flaming Wall. That is one of my favorite combat cards.
All right, Detective Frank Briggs and Expedite Request for Resources. There's one you don't see all the time.
Very nice. Jonathan Hagee is also with us in the audience. He says the host is a top 3 episode for me as well. Yep, very good call on that, Jonathan.
Very creepy, that one, and I'm looking forward to the Scully set because Pusher is in it, and that was another one of my favorite episodes, was the one with Pusher in it.
Yeah, that is like a gateway episode for anyone who has not seen the X-Files. If you know someone who's thinking about watching the show, have them start with watching Pusher. They'll be an instant fan. All right, so this is your second Truth Is Out There booster that you're opening at.
Travel arrangements. I tried to make use of that one when we first started playing. It didn't quite work out. I might revisit that strategy now that I've got a little more experience under my belt. We'll see. Oh, hard evidence. That'll come in handy.
Hard evidence. Good lord, that's a good one.
Knife. That's one of 𝐗-𝐁's successful cards too.
Mm-hmm.
Luther Lee Boggs, Energy Strike. Street Contacts. Here's the Walther PPK. Got 2 guns in my deck. Heads up for that. And then Successful Diagnosis and Dr. Lascos.
Not too shabby, David.
Not bad.
I'm especially envious of your team.
Yeah, gosh. With Hosteen and Mulder, I like it. What's not to like?
Well, hopefully fortune will be smiling on my end as I'm about to open my premier starter. We'll see what we have. All right. I can't not open a starter deck without taking in that 1996 Sealed Air.
Oh yeah, I snuck in a little whiff there of mine as well.
Yep. The nostalgia levels are on high right now, David.
The good old days.
Psychotic attack right off the bat. And so Agent Reggie Purdue is the first of my 4 agents. And I too have Albert Hosteen on my team.
Okay.
Very good. I also have Agent Janice, the trained medic. And who is my 4th agent? Alex Krychek will be the 4th agent on my team. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has a res 2, which is nice, and we're all a fan of Albert Hostein's effects. All right, and so here I have the remainder of my starter deck. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is an RP paying witness. I'm a very big fan of those, as you guys very well know. Actually, Dr. Osborne is also an RP paying witness. With any luck, we'll be seeing one of them tonight. And I do like Charlie Toscani. He's one of those unique witnesses where he can apply combat skills to a team. Whole lot of equipment in this.
Which Guillaume said that Ambush is his favorite. I don't know that I remember that one. Does anyone remember what season that was? What it was
about? The episode? Ambush is from the Anasazi, the season finale of season 2. As is Hard Punch. Hey David, check it out. Langley is going to be part of my Bureau deck.
That is bad.
Not a bad pull.
News. That's bad news.
Yeah, considering Langley, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, none of those usual staples were part of the previous game. It is nice to see our long-haired friend will have a chance of maybe making an appearance in this tonight. Compared to my previous sealed deck game, this starter deck here is actually holding up pretty well. So I don't really have a whole lot of complaints other than maybe the sites, which I did not look at too closely. But with any luck, I'll be able to meet the site prerequisites for some of the sites in here. So, not a bad starter, actually. Like I said, compared to the previous one, this one isn't too shabby. I'm going to go take a look at some of those sites again, just to get a sense of... And I did actually have a hard evidence as well. I didn't catch that as I was flipping through. Yeah, we just barely make criminal and evidence collection. Occult investigation, Hostein does provide that. Yeah, actually, this is a pretty good starter. All the sites that are found within, I do have enough amongst my team to make the site prerequisites seen here. This is, for an uncollated deck, this one's actually a bit of a gem. So, no complaints. Not bad. The only thing that would be sweeter is if maybe I can pull a 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. You know, I didn't have a buyers in mind. Did you have buyers in yours? I would be just as happy not to see buyers tonight, but I wouldn't mind a 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 joining the team. So I've opened the first of my 2 premier booster packs, and so we'll see what we have here. Hopefully not too many X-Files, for I have more than enough X-Files I'm working with here.
Crop circles.
On ultra rare, where are you? We have Baltimore, Maryland site, which, yeah, I don't think... No, actually, evidence collection, I could probably swing that. Yep, not bad. Few witness. Alien Bounty Hunter, although I doubt I'll be able to afford that in a advanced game. And the Alien Harvester... This is going to be... The Alien Harvester adversary is not really going to be one that we're going to be able to apply to a live stream game. As fun as that would be.
Is that the one where you flip the card in the air?
Yeah. So Alien Harvester, aka Chaos Orb, will not be a useful adversary for this game, which is too bad. Would be nice to play it. Jonathan Hagee says Byers gets all the hate. He kind of does. I mean, considering that one +1 to computer.
Yeah,
pretty weak.
Very underpowered, though, considering how helpful the lone gunmen were in the show itself.
Anyway, so I'm about to show what was in my second of 2 premier boosters. Thankfully, well, I was about to say, thankfully I'm not pulling too many X-Files, but I spoke too soon. For here they are. A whole lot of X-Files. But it does look like I will be working with a deck of more than 60, so I'm not sweating that. I should have a legal size deck of 60 cards or more. So no ultra rares for this batch. Oh well.
Not gonna lie, I kind of had high hopes that I was gonna pull something big. You know, 25-year booster. It's been sitting there dormant for that long.
It is amazing to me how many of these starters and boosters have not been opened, considering they haven't been produced since 1997. Yet there are still quite a few out there that are sealed. Let's get started, shall we? Let's draw our 7, and then we will decide who will be going first. Interesting. Okay, David. So I have in my hand my 2 customized tokens that I use in the course of the game. This one will represent conspiracy player. This one will represent investigating player. So, I have one of each in my hands. Which one? Right or left?
I'm going to say you're right.
Am I right? You are going to be starting off as the investigating player.
All right.
And I will be starting off as the conspiracy player. Go ahead and draw that free card, my good man, and let's get this party started.
All right, here we go. Time to get serious.
Getting my res counter up there, don't mind me.
All right, draw for turn. I will generate my res. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Mulder is 2, but of course we all know that goes toward cards. And I'm not going to buy any. I'm just going to take Mulder's 2. And with that, I will turn to you to sell and buy conspiracy.
Thank you. I'll begin by selling 4 cards.
Mm.
Hard Punch for 1. Dr. Hodge for 1. Run for It for 2. And Glock 19 semi-automatic pistol for 4. For a total of 8. And of that 8, I will buy 5 cards and add 3 to my conspiracy pool.
Healing phase, and nothing's happened yet, so no healing taking place there. Nothing to requisition, so we'll move on to deployment. I am going to move all of my agents to the field. And then case assignment. We are going to go to coastal Northwest Oregon. This is an alien investigation 4+, and an affiliation question. Oh, and that costs 2.
Yost says, good morning, evening, everyone. I'm just in time for the game, I see. Welcome aboard, Yost. Happy to have you. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I know it is very early where you are, so I can't thank you enough for waking up at the crack of dawn to take in this riveting game of X-Files CCG. Okay, David, so you have played Coastal Northwest Oregon, which is an alien investigation 4 prerequisite with the keyword affiliation. I will be playing 1 bluff on that site.
I'm just going to move Mulder and Hosteen.
And if I'm not mistaken, between Mulder and Hosteen, you have a total of 6 alien investigation amongst them. Is that correct?
That is correct. Mulder has 4. Hosteen has 2.
I'm going to reveal that bluff. And it is Dr. Berube, which has a basic effect as well as an advanced effect. The advanced effect, which is applicable here because we are playing an advanced game of X-Files CCG, is that I will pay the listed cost of conspiracy tokens, where X is the number of conspiracy tokens paid to gain the desired modifier to 1 of the following skills: alien investigation, medical, sciences.
a housekeeper, and she often uses the car. It's the second card. Please! They should not be excited. Nothing should be touched.
I'm sorry, I thought they were friendly.
They're part of an experiment.
What kind of experiment?
Am I under some kind of suspicion?
No.
Then I think I've answered all your questions. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have more work than time.
Thank you.
And I will be paying 5 to apply a -3 modifier to your team's skill check. However, because the bluff was face down, I will only be subtracting 4 from my conspiracy pool, which leaves me with 4. And at this point, that leaves your team with a collective 3 alien investigation skill. Not enough to make that skill check as it currently is.
And nothing to negate or stop that from happening. My investigation has been thwarted.
Well, you know what? That was actually the only conspiracy card that I drew. So I was kind of relieved when you played an alien investigation site. So David, as we head into the debriefing phase, how many cards, pray tell, will you be discarding?
Well, I had 9 in my hand, and so I will be discarding 2, X-Files research and the site NASA mission control.
Okay.
Takes me down to 7.
And I have 7 cards in my hand, and I'll be keeping all of them. We'll pass it over to me, and I will draw my free card to begin the turn. Good. So, regarding my team's collective res, Agent Reggie Purdue has 1, Agent Janice has 1, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has 2, although he could choose to contribute to the conspiracy pool if he's so inclined, and Albert Hosteen has 1, for a total of 5. I think of that 5, I will only draw 1 card, and I'll add the remaining 4 to my resource pool.
I'm going to sell 4 cards. Hidden Grave for 2, Expert Briefing for 2, Walther PPK for 4, and Wiretap for 2. That's 10. And of that, I'm going to purchase 6.
Seeing as this is my team's inaugural round, we will not be doing any healing. I do have some equipment in my hand that I think I might requisition 1 or 2 of them, because I do know David is working with a few decent adversaries, so would be a good idea to maybe give my team a bit of a buffer in the combat department. I will equip Agent Reggie Purdue with the Walther PPK holdout weapon, which adds 2 to the agent's close range combat. That card costs 4, so I'll be deducting 4 from my resource pool to pay for that. I will also be equipping Albert Hosteen with the knife for 2, which adds 1 to the agent's close range combat, and I will be deducting 2 from my resource pool to pay for that one. And so as we go into the deployment phase, I will be sending all of my team out into the field. For case assignment, we will be sending the team to Olympic National Forest, David, which is a monosite with the keywords result and evidence collection. And before you feel inclined to play any bluffs, I'm going to use Albert Hosteen's token to take a look at what cards you are holding in that hand of yours, and I will decide on 1 conspiracy card to cast Hosteen's token to prevent you from playing it. Well, you can still play it, but if you do, I'm going to be awarded with a question regarding your X-File.
𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 Belagana. What is this?
This is where you pucker up and kiss my ass.
Now listen,
you listen to me, you son of a bitch. This man's name is Albert Hosteen. You should remember that. Because if Agents Mulder and Scully come down with so much as a case of the flu, Albert is prepared to recite chapter and verse, file for file, everything on your precious tape.
It's a nice try, Skinner.
I'm sure you're thinking Albert is an old man. And there are plenty of ways that you might kill him, too. Which is why in the ancient oral tradition of his people, he's told 20 other men the information on those files. So unless you kill every Navajo living in 4 states, that information is available with a simple phone call.
So, David, what do you got in that hand?
All right, I have a site, Cumberland Prison, and then University of Maryland, Cape Cod, and Broad Street, Philadelphia. Hard evidence, street contacts, and clone. And then government car and Detective Frank Briggs. So only one conspiracy.
The only CP card you have is the clone. So unfortunately, that is a pretty weak card to be casting Hosteen's token on. But unfortunately, it's the only conspiracy card in your hand. So that we'll have it at that. Which means you won't be able to knock out a witness. Should I be inclined to play one? Oh, and by the way, I'm going to deduct 2 from my resource pool to pay for the monocyte. So that takes my resource pool down to 1. So my team has a collective 5 evidence collection, which is more than enough to make the site prerequisite. Agent Reggie Perdue has 2, Agent Janice has 1, Alice Krychuk has 2, for a total of 5.
Okay.
And David, after seeing your hand just a moment ago, I can say with certainty that you do not have any conspiracy cards that would thwart this investigation, so it would appear this site investigation has been successful.
I have nothing to stop the investigation.
And with that, I'll send my site to the discard pile. So David, is by chance your X-Files result death?
Unreal. Yes, it is.
It is? You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. David's X-Files result is death.
That's a good way to start the game, isn't it?
Well, for me, maybe not so much for you. Yost is like, gonna be a short game again. Well, I don't know about that. I wouldn't discount Mr. Peace yet. He does have a tendency to thrive under pressure.
And I was going to say I had 9 cards in my hand, so I'm going to discard 2. Clone, because that's the one that did, and then a site, Cape Cod. Science is 4, which I am lacking in, so I didn't feel too bad about letting that one go.
Yeah.
So, without any further ado, I'll start my turn by drawing my free card, and then generating my res, which is still 4. And then Mulder's 2. And I'm just going to take those 2. I won't purchase any others. So with that, I will turn to you to sell and buy for conspiracy.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be selling 4 cards. Michelle 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 for 3. The Electron Emission Microscope for 2. Sir Malcolm Marsden for 1. And Decreased Workload for 1. So that is 7. And of that 7, I will add 2 to the conspiracy pool, and I will buy 5 cards.
All right, healing phase. I don't have any healing that I need to do, and no requisition, so I'll move right to case assignment. And I'm going to play 2 cards. First is University of Maryland. That is a criminal investigation 4 or more with a result question. And Broad Street, Philadelphia, which is also criminal investigation 4, and that one asks a method question. Now, before you say anything, my turn to use Hosteen's token. I'd like to take
and I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you because there's not going to be anything desirable to cast his effect. RP cards first. Doug Spinney, Dissection, Genetics Clinic, Franklin, PA. And then for the conspiracy ones, granted, most of these are purple cards, but I also have Webbed, Ambush, and Kick, combat cards, but I don't have an adversary to back them up. So take your pick amongst these. Sorry, man. But on the plus side, you have a clear path to both of those sites. If you're able to divide your team up enough to investigate them, which you might, actually.
I am. Oh, and before we go any further, I did fail to pay for those. I'm going to use 2 of Mulder's tokens, 1 to pay for each of them. That having been said, let's go ahead and cast on the middle one is Ambush, right?
Ambush. All right.
Yeah, so let's do that one, and I'll take this token off.
Anyway, proceed, David. As I said, clear path. No bluffs. I mean, I could put some cards down as a bluff, but you know what's in my hand.
I could call it, yeah.
You could call it easily with confidence.
So I'll move Mulder and Colton to University of Maryland, and then I'm going to move Jack Willis to Broad Street, and I'm going to pay 2 to play Detective Briggs, the witness, on that one.
But those murders in Powhatan Mill, when I walked into that room, my heart went cold. My hands numbed. I could feel it.
You feel what, Frank?
When I first heard about the death camps in 1945, I remembered Powhatan Mill.
He adds 2 to one team's criminal investigation skill check. So you were saying you don't have any cards to
you
for my investigation.
2 shots at my X-File.
Yes,
well done.
I'll start with the University of Maryland with result. Is your result... let's see. Abduction.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
I had a feeling you were just going to say death, but wow. Way to go against the grain on that.
I'm going to ask the method question. Is your method, without having done this, not sure which is the best method to ask. Is your method subterfuge?
It is not.
Okay. So while I am crossing off, Jonathan asked a question earlier that we didn't get to when we were talking about the field office crime lab. Does the Scully expansion have any references to the crime lab? I don't recall hearing.
It does not. Yeah, they seem to have abandoned that idea after premiere.
And I have 7 cards in my hand, so no discard.
Excellent. So I too have 7 in my hand, and I'll be keeping all of them. Let's pass it back to me, and I'll draw my free card to begin the turn. With the 5 res that my team generates, I think I'll put all of it in the pool for a total of 6. Pass it over to you, David.
All right, so I'm going to sell 3 cards. Government car for 2. Witness Maggie Holvey for 1. And written report for 1. A total of 4. Conspiracy. 4. And then I'm going to purchase 5. And I will turn it back to you, sir.
Thank you. Seeing as none of my agents need healing at this point, we'll be cruising past the healing phase. Requisition, they're all in the field, and I do not have any equipment that I can requisition to them, seeing as they are in the field. So we'll move over to deployment. We'll be keeping the team all out in the field at this time. For case assignment, we'll be sending the team in 2 directions. the Genetics Clinic in Marin County, California, and Franklin, Pennsylvania. The Genetics Clinic, David, is a monosite with the keywords affiliation and medical. Franklin, Pennsylvania is also a monosite with the keywords method and criminal investigation.
Okay.
Bluff me if you dare.
I will bluff you.
Before you do that, I'm going to be deducting 4 from my resource pool to pay for that.
Okay. And I will put this bluff on the Genetics Clinic as the affiliation one. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's the site I want to put that on.
I'll be sending Hosteen and Janice to the... actually, I meant to... is it okay, David, if I retroactively use Janice's token to pay for the part of the site? Do you care?
Oh,
if
yeah.
not, so I'm going to add 1 back to my pool because Janice is paying for part of that site, because Janice's effect allows him to pay for keyword medical or healing cards. So, in this case, should there be a combat in the course of this game, his healing effect will be permitted for this particular round. And so we'll be sending 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and Reggie Purdue to Franklin, PA. We'll begin with the Franklin, Pennsylvania site, for which it has a site prerequisite of Criminal Investigation 4, and Reggie Purdue and 𝐼𝐥e𝐬 have a combined 4 to their criminal skill check, and so therefore they have just enough to make that. Do you have anything you'd like to play on that site?
I do not.
Okay, so with that, we'll be asking a method question of your X-File. David, by any chance, is your X-Files method violence?
It is not.
Is not. I have ruled out government as your X-Files affiliation as a result of that, which will inform my decision for the second site should I be successful in that. You are not Leonard this time.
No.
Down to 8 possibilities, but I'm not going to ask a question yet, for we still have another site to investigate at this point. I will discard Franklin, PA, and we'll head over to the Genetics Clinic in Marin County, California, which is, again, a medical site with the prerequisite of medical 4. Janice has 3, Albert Hosteen has 2, so I got a little bit of wiggle room to work with there. And the question is affiliation, and David, you do have a bluff on that site, so I turn it to you to unveil that bluff. Let's see what you got.
It's cigarette butts, but it doesn't play well.
Oh, it doesn't apply to this one? Okay, all right.
So I'm just going to let that one go.
With that, David, do you have any other cards you will be playing on the site? Nothing? Whew. I know you've got some adversaries in that deck, so I'm just waiting for the possibility of getting hit with one of those.
Well, hold on a second now. Yeah, I'm going to play... nope, I got nothing to play.
I do some combat cards, so if I have to, I'll play them if you feel like you want to throw down, David.
Nope, don't have the right keywords.
Don't have the right keywords? Whew. Shall I proceed with the second question, David?
I'd be offended if you didn't.
Thank you, sir. So, because that second site investigation was successful, I've been awarded with an affiliation question. And so, of the remaining X-Files, David, by any chance, is your X-Files affiliation evolutionary?
Yes, it is.
It is. And so, with that, David, I have now narrowed you down to 4 X-Files. If I'm feeling so inclined, I could take a 25% chance and potentially bring the game to a close. But you know what? The night still feels a bit young, does it not, David?
Still some possibilities out there and some good cards to play, too.
I agree. I agree.
Guessing.
Yeah, I'm inclined to keep going. I'm going to refrain from taking a crack at your X-Files identity at this point. I think there's a bit more game to be played. And so let's head into debriefing. I have 6 cards. I'll hold on to all of them.
I have 8. I won't be able to use this anytime soon, so I'm going to discard Street Contacts. And that puts me at 7.
All right, let's pass it back to you. Draw your free card, sir.
Draw for turn. All right, got that card. Let's generate that res. 2, 3, 4. And then Mulder gets me 2. And I'm just going to take Mulder's 2. I won't purchase any more, so I'll turn to you to sell and buy.
Thank you. I'm going to sell 4 cards. Ambush for 2, obviously. I'm not going to have you asking a question as a result of the Hostings token. Geiger countered for 2. Doug Spinney for 1, and Kick for 1, for a total of 6. Of that 6, I think I'm just going to pull 6 cards. Back to you, sir.
All right. Healing phase. Everybody's good to go, so no healing there. Move to requisition. No equipment to requisition any of my agents, so we'll go right to deployment. They're all in the field right where I want them. And case assignment. We are going to Franklin, Pennsylvania.
Interesting.
This is a criminal investigation 4+.
Things like this aren't supposed to happen here.
A 42-year-old real estate agent murders 4 strangers with his bare hands? It's not supposed to happen anyway.
Since colonial times, there's only been 3 murders in this area. In the last 6 months, 7 people have killed 22. Per capita, that's higher than the combined homicide rate of Detroit, D.C., and Los Angeles. This town is not any of those places. In Franklin, you'll never have to pull off the road to make way for a celebrity driving with a gun to his head.
And it is a method. I know that very well because my team was just there in the past round. In fact, I think we're waving to you on our way out. So
we're crossing paths there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, how's it going? We had a pretty easy time on this site investigation. Hope the same for you. All right, go ahead and pay for that one, and then
I'm going to use Mulder's token to pay for that one.
Nice. That's his last one, right?
Correct.
All right. I'm going to be playing 2 bluffs on that site.
2 bluffs?
Oh, yeah. 2 bluffs, David.
You're killing me.
Oh, yeah. Well, not yet. Perhaps.
All right, here we go. Criminal investigation. Mulder, Colton, and Willis will move to investigate. The prerequisite is 4. I have 2 on Mulder, 2 on Colton, and 2 on Willis. So I have 6 total.
And I'm afraid I was bluffing on that, so neither of those are going to be useful.
Oh, you had me. Oh my goodness. I thought for sure that was the end of my turn. Okay.
My poker face is not as strong as I'd hoped it would be. I do not have any other cards I wish to play.
All right. Well, a well-played turn there. Those bluffs, those had me going.
You know, I'm not inclined to play true bluffs as a rule, so I was hoping that foreknowledge might have won out, but nope. You remain strong and dedicated to this site investigation. So bravo.
Indeed.
For that, you may take a crack at my X-Files method.
All right. Is your method possession?
It is not. My X-Files method is not possession.
All right. And we will move to debriefing.
I have 6 cards.
As usual, I have 9, so I've got to pick 2 to get rid of here.
feel like you're buying too many cards, David. Good lord.
I feel like I don't have the right ones in my hand, so
No, it's a good strategy. Get deep into that bureau deck, and then that way the right ones will eventually show up. No, I understand. That's good. That's not a bad call.
All right. I don't think this one's going to come in handy, so I'm going to discard Road Hazard.
Jonathan Hagees asked, have you guys ever played a game with more than 2 players? We have not, Jonathan. We have flirted with the idea, but nothing planned. I would be open to trying it out. Logistically, with the use of the StreamYard to play the game, we'd be working with 6 frames, so that could be a little problematic. And yeah, that would give us a chance to try out those few multiplayer cards that are found in the commercially released cards, certainly.
All right, my second one, U.S. Marshal Tapia. That puts me at 7.
Excellent. And so we'll pass it back to me, and I will draw the free card to begin my turn. All right, and so my team, once again, has 5 res, not 6, as I had mistakenly added in the previous one. So of that 5, I believe what I'm going to do is... of that 5, I'm going to add 3 to my resource pool for 6, and then I will buy 2 cards.
Okay.
Guillaume says we should definitely try a multiplayer game. Let's put that on the list.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just had my 2 cards pulled to sell.
Excellent.
Dr.
Right.
Blockhead and Crop Circles for a total of 3 conspiracy. 1, 2, 3. And I'm not going to buy any.
Not going to buy any? All right. So pass it over to me, and I'll take us into healing, for which I do not need to heal any of my agents at this time. For requisition phase, I do not have any equipment that I can requisition to my guys because they are currently in the field. For deployment, we'll be keeping all the team deployed as they are. For case assignment, I've got a little bit of a hang up there because I do not currently have a site card in my hand. However, I do have 1 token on Reggie Purdue, for which I can discard and look through my bureau deck and draw any one site that asks a result question. However, I do already know your X-Files result, so perhaps if I can score a multi-site.
Multi-site, yeah.
Yeah. Here it is. Do I have enough skills to make that? I do. Yeah, I think that might be the way to go. Nice. Let me just reshuffle my deck real quick. And then I'll play the site card that I had just pulled from my bureau deck as a courtesy of Rich. There's so few cards left in my bureau deck, it's really hard to shuffle them. Thanks to Reggie Purdue's effect, we will be sending the team to Baltimore, Maryland, home of Eugene Victor Toombs. This is a multi-site, David, with the keywords method, result, sciences, and evidence collection. So because this is a multi-site, I'll be deducting 1 from my resource pool to pay for that site. I await any bluffs you might have for me.
I'm sorry, the prereq is what now?
Sciences or evidence collection. I need not declare it just yet. I will be declaring that post-bluff.
No.
No bluffs?
1 bluff.
Oh, 1 bluff. We'll be sending all of the team to investigate this site. Agent Reggie Purdue has 2 evidence collection. Krychek also has 2. Agent Janice has 1, for a total of 5, and that is just enough to make the site prerequisite of evidence collection 5. Let's see that bluff, sir.
Well, the bluff is Dr. Barubi. Am I pronouncing that right? But it doesn't apply, so I'm not going to, follow up on that.
Yeah, because I did not go with the sciences, as you might have been hoping.
I was hoping.
What else you have?
Here comes the crew cut man.
The crew cut man has entered the fray. Before we go into combat, I am going to be playing a witness, Charlie Toscani, for 4. That will take my resource pool down to 1. Charlie Toscani will be attached to a team. This witness will add his skills to the appropriate skill check, like an agent, close range combat 2, long range combat 2, and health of 3. If he is sent to the hospital or at any time there are no agents in the team, remove the card from the game. However, I believe the crew cut man is only going to be selecting 1 agent to combat, so I guess, yeah, he may not even be applicable to this, unfortunately. Yeah, so I don't think he's going to be... Yeah, because what you do is you choose 1 agent to attack. So, yeah, I don't think he's applicable.
You want to just
so if anyone wants to... What's that?
You want to just take it back to your hand then?
No, I'll keep him. I've already paid for him. You know, it's possible we're going to, be seeing adversaries in future rounds, so I'm inclined to just, hold on to him. All right, David. So pray tell, what agent will you be going toe-to-toe with?
Agent 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬.
Okay. So we'll begin with the long-range combat round. Agent 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has a total of 4 long-range. What does the crew cut man have in terms of long-range?
4 as well.
4 as well. And what is his health?
5.
5. Okay, so 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 will be inflicting 4 upon the crew cut man. The crew cut man will be inflicting 4 upon 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, and that leaves 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 with just a sliver of health. As we enter close range combat, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has 2, and the crew cut man has what?
4.
Which is certainly enough to defeat 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. But at the same time, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 will be divvying out 2, which will in turn defeat crew cut man, but not without sending 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 to the hospital. Alright, so I'll be sending 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 to the hospital, and David has successfully thwarted my site investigation, because at this point in time I have only 3 evidence collection amongst my remaining agents. I don't see any other way out of this one. I believe my only other recourse, which is a bittersweet one, is that I'm going to play Dissection. Play this card after a team of agents damages an adversary in combat by dealing enough wounds to kill it. Place 5 tokens in the pool. So the card costs 1, which will take my resource pool down to 0, but I will be adding 5 tokens to the pool, so that takes my resource pool up to 5. Let's head into debriefing.
I only have 3, so no discard.
And I'm sitting on 7, and I will be keeping all of them.
Oh, I'm being reminded I did not pay for the crew cut.
Oh, yeah, your conspiracy pool is looking a little tall, isn't it? Right.
There we go. Thank you, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬.
Yep. Go ahead and draw that free card.
Here it comes. All right. Generate res. 2, 3, 4.
How many cards will you be drawing?
Well, I'm going to get 2 for Mulder.
Mm-hmm.
But before I do that, I'm not going to play hard evidence for
Why
2
not?
and gain 5, so I net 3 out of that. And then, in addition to Mulder's 2, I'm going to buy another 4. So I'll take 6 cards.
David was at 12 RP when he started, so I think you have to add 1 more.
Okay. Gladly. Thank you.
Thanks, Yost. Appreciate that.
Okay. And now, now I turn to you for selling and buying.
Thank you. I'll be selling 4 cards. Dr. Osborne for 3. Kevlar vest for 3. That would have been nice to have equipped on 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 in that previous one. High-powered flashlight for 4, and I want to believe for 1. That is 11 in all. Of that 11, I will add 5 to the conspiracy pool, which will take that up to 11, and I will draw 6 cards. Back to you, sir.
All right. Healing phase, no healing, and requisition. I don't have anything to requisition. Deployment. All of my agents are in the field, and I will keep them there. So go to case assignment. Now, to start off case assignment, I'm going to use Jack Willis's token. Place a token on this card. Discard a token and look through your bureau deck to draw any one site that asks an affiliation question. Add it to your hand and reshuffle the bureau deck. So we'll take just a moment here to find an affiliation site. All right. Quick cut, and there we are. So to continue the case assignment.
Where are we sending him?
Arlington, Virginia.
Arlington, Virginia.
Occult investigation 4 or more, and an affiliation question. Do you have any bluffs, good sir?
I do. 1, to be precise.
Okay. We'll move then to investigation.
Yep, you got Hosting and Mulder and Willis all contributing to that, don't you?
Yes. So at first glance, this looks like a winning combination. We'll see what the bluff has to say. But Mulder has 3, Willis has 1, and Hosting has 4. So I have 8 out of the 4 needed.
You're sitting on 8 occult investigation. That is pretty sweet amount. I would be pretty comfortable with that amount if I was sitting on that.
Well, I feel pretty good about it, but I know you always seem to have just the right cards. So let's see what's going on with that bluff.
The bluff is cigarette butts, which I paid a listed cost, which does include occult investigation. However, you have enough there. So unfortunately, yeah, even with that that -4 modifier, yeah, you do have enough. Darn it. Yeah. I thought I had you. You are swimming in occult investigation over there, I'm afraid.
I brought in the experts.
Yeah, you certainly did. You brought them all in. Bravo. Have at it.
All right. Well, an affiliation question. Is your affiliation evolutionary?
Yes, it is.
All right. Then I'm going to guess your X-File. Is your X-File Eve?
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, David Pease has finally bested me in a game of X-Files collectible card game. Take a bow, David.
Oh, my virtual background is taking a
knock out his camera, taking a bow. Don't hurt yourself or your equipment there. You definitely pulled out a lot of cards that put me through the ringer, both as a conspiracy player as well as the investigating player. So I salute you. I mean, to be fair, I was at the mercy of the cards that were contained within the starter deck in these 2 booster packs. However, they were actually pretty decent cards, by and large. It just, unfortunately, they just weren't coming up in the right order, which, you could say that about any well-constructed deck. It's as well-refined as your deck might be. You still might not get the cards coming up in the order that you like. For this example, I had 3 adversaries in my current hand, but unfortunately, because you were going for an affiliation, I didn't have the activators.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I salute you. It was a hard-fought win. You had to work for it every bit of the way. It was not like you were steamrolling over my weak Premier deck.
I think both sides had a fair shot and a good set of cards. Yeah.
So I knew I had a sense that there was a bit of risk involved in playing a multi-site, which would double the chances of you having an adversary to throw at me. And another reason, like it just came up to bad shuffling, I pulled U.S. Marshal Tapia, which adds 1 to evidence collection. I would have loved to have him in that previous round, but unfortunately, he came up in this final round.
Just a little too late. Do you have a guess for my X-File?
Oh, well, since I seen as I had narrowed it down to 4, I'm a bit rueful that I did not at least take I mean, with the knowledge of, knowing how this game played out, yeah, maybe I should have taken a crack at your X-Files identity when I had the chance. If I did, I probably would have gone with Cecil Lively, but, it's a 1 in 4 shot.
It was Arthur Greyball.
So, yeah, and you would have been awarded a penalty question, and which, might have brought this game to a close. So, you know what? Yeah, I'm pleased with how it turned out. I'm glad you finally get to chalk in another W. So, well done.
Yes, thank you very much. A great game. Loved it.
Yeah, I did too. I really did too. I'm really happy that I was not struggling with terrible cards. Like I was doing that more in my previous game with 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. And so Jonathan Hagee says, congrats, David. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 also says, congratulations, David. And Yost says, well played, David. Gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for tuning in. I think there were times where we had like 4 or 5 viewers tuning in for the game, and so I'm very happy that we had an audience to play for. It's always a treat. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 says, I think the problem with the Premier starter decks is that people were not guaranteed to have either Mulder or Scully. Yes, that was one problem for sure. But even as I was discovering in our previous sealed game, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, I was getting sites that did not cater to my team's skills. Like, for instance, as you recall, I had Coastal Northwest Oregon, but only Blevins had 1 in alien investigations, and not enough witnesses were in that deck to even be able to allow for that to even have a chance of being a successful site investigation. There were some other examples, and the fact that that team had a total of 10 bureaucracy, and yet I only had 1 bureaucracy site included in there, is still a failure on the collation for that particular starter. Yeah, my Langley and my hard evidence were about 7 or 8 cards down, so I was wondering when and if they were going to show up. Let's talk about what's coming up next. Saturday, we're going to be doing our 13th playtest.
And you're going to be our star player on that one. Did we decide on...
I'll be one of the 2. I don't know who my opponent is.
I don't think we decided that.
I believe since Nathan's going to be out of town, so I think he's out, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall exactly when he said he's getting back, but since he's traveling right now, I believe that's going to be up to you and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. So yeah, gentlemen, if you guys are interested in watching the 13th playtest of the Season 4 expansion, we'll be kicking that off on Saturday, more than likely the same time, 10 p.m. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬's up for it? You're up to play?
All right.
It has been a while since you've thrown down, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬. Do you want to throw down against me on that one? We'll be looking at the same time, 10 p.m. Especially, since 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬's going to be part of it. I don't want him waking up any earlier than he needs to take part in it.
He's got to get up and have his Wheaties and his orange juice, because that's going to be a tough game.
And I actually, guys, I know you've seen the playtests on David's channel, and what they're working with are the basically just printouts of the text. I will actually be using printed cards that Dax has already printed and sent to me, so they will be just like what you see here. But that's only going to be the case for the agents, the adversaries, and the witnesses. Dax has not sent me the completed Season 4 expansion because there are some cards, especially events and bluffs, that we're tweaking as we go, and so there's no point in printing those yet, since those are the ones that have such a wide array of effects. And what else do we have? Is that the only game we have currently slated at this point, David? Yeah.
We've been talking about doing a dream card game with
yes, we have. For those, Jonathan, you're in the Facebook group, so you've seen some of Dax's dream cards that he keeps in his dream album. We have been talking, the three of us, Guillaume as well, we've been talking about doing a game using some of those custom cards that Dax has designed in an upcoming game. Yep, yeah, Guillaume says we have also been talking about doing a game with pre-trained and pre-equipped agents. Yes, I still want to do that. Your schedule permitting, just, let me know. I'm totally game for that. Yep. And so with that, I'll sign us off. And thanks again, David, for a great game. And all of you, be sure to tune in next time for another edition of Alien Investigations.
Thank you, everyone.